This video looks at 4 terrifying mythological creatures from North America and the Caribbean. It is a compilation of previous videos on the subject and takes in Native American beliefs, Inuit legend and more. So join me as we delve into the horrifying folklore of North America. This is the iconic guitar building at the famous Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. The complex, which is about 20 miles from Miami, boasts a resort, pool and casino, among other attractions. But away from the glitz and high rollers, the resort is situated on Seminole tribal land. And Florida's Seminoles have a dark legend of a frightful night stalker that stretches way back into pre-Columbian mythology. The Stikini is a terrifying creature in Seminole Native American folklore, known for its horrifying dual nature, human by day and monstrous owl by night. The entity represents a blend of witchcraft and malevolence that is seldom spoken of outside of traditional storytelling circles within the Seminole community. During the day, the Stikini appears as an ordinary person, blending seamlessly into society. There is no hint of the night's transformation in their eyes or demeanour, but as the sun sets and the moon rises, a horrifying metamorphosis occurs. The Stikini expels its internal organs, including its soul, through vomiting, leaving its human body hollow. This process allows it to take on the form of an owl or an owl-like creature with a voracious appetite for human hearts. But the change is not straightforward, often resulting in a disgusting mishmash of owl and human. The Stikini's nocturnal vampiric hunts are driven by its singular hunger for hearts. It seeks out its prey in the darkness, and with surgical precision it plucks the heart from a living human, extracting it through the mouth. To counter this threat, Seminole lore offers methods of protection and retribution against the creatures. One can locate the Stikini's hidden organs, which are left behind high up in trees during their transformation. Destroying these organs ensures the creature cannot return to its human form, effectively ending its life. Another method involves waiting until dawn when the Stikini is vulnerable to sunlight, or using weapons, particularly arrows that have been ritually blessed with owl feathers, believed to give them additional power against such supernatural foes. Speaking the Stikini's name is considered risky. Some beliefs hold that it could summon the creature, or even transform the speaker into one. Here's hoping I don't start sprouting owl feathers at night, but this is what makes the Stikini a figure of cautionary tales, discussed with reverence and fear, mainly among medicine men, or those knowledgeable in Seminole spiritual practices. So if you're ever in Florida, you might want to keep an eye on the trees. You never know what might be lurking there. And the lore of the Stikini is geographically linked to the Seminole tribes originally from Florida, but is also significant in Oklahoma, where some specify areas like Stickland near Saskatchewan are hotspots for Stikini activity. The legend of this creature clearly embodies the cultural fears of the unknown, the power of transformation, and the thin veil between the human and the supernatural in Seminole mythology. I also think it alludes to something else now lost from deep prehistory. In the frozen north, the terrifying qalupalik, a figure of Inuit folklore, is a creature of the Arctic and subarctic waters, known to inhabit the icy realms along the shorelines, where ice flows are common. The mythical entity is not only a part of cultural storytelling, but also serves as a warning to children about the perils of the harsh Arctic environment. The qalupalik is described as having green, slimy skin, long, unkempt hair, and elongated fingernails. It has webbed hands and feet, scales and fins, blending the human form with that of the aquatic. It is often noted that these creatures wear an amautic, a traditional Inuit parka, which adds an eerie, human-like quality to their otherwise monstrous form. In tales, passed down for generations, the qalupalik is said to be known for luring children away from safety with a haunting hum or knocking on the ice. Once a child ventures too close, the creature snatches them, pulling them into the freezing waters. Legends vary on the fate of the children, with some stories suggesting that they are eaten, while others suggest that they are kept in a state of suspended animation, possibly to serve the creature or maintain its youth. The qalupalik's role in Inuit folklore is profound, acting as both a bogeyman to keep children safe from the dangers of thin ice and open water, and as a subject for storytelling that educates about respect for nature's power. The mythical monster has transcended oral traditions and found a place in modern literature, like A Promise is a Promise by Robert Munsch and Michael Kusagak, as well as in graphic novels, games and animations. This siren of the ice is a fascinating addition to North American folklore. So, do you think the qalupalik is simply a warning bogeyman figure, or does it have a basis in a tragic real event generations ago? The Duppy is a spectral figure of Caribbean folklore, particularly in Jamaica, where it serves as a frightening cultural touchstone for understanding death, the afterlife, and the supernatural. The term Duppy has its origins in West African languages, notably the Akan word adope or adopu, which means a spirit or ghost. This cultural importation speaks to the broader history of the African diaspora in the Caribbean, where the blending of African spiritual beliefs with existing indigenous and European ones created a rich legendarium. In Jamaican folklore, Duppies are considered spirits of the dead who have not yet found rest or peace, often due to an improper burial, violent death, or unfinished business in the mortal realm. These spirits are not necessarily malevolent by nature, but can become so if they feel wronged, or if their life was cut short under tragic circumstances. They are believed to roam the earth at night, particularly between midnight and dawn, and can interact with the living in various ways. Duppies might communicate to convey messages, warnings, or to resolve unfinished business. This can happen through dreams, direct apparitions, or by making noises or moving objects. They are also known for causing mischief like hiding items or leading people astray, especially if they died with unresolved issues, or if they were mischievous in life. Some Duppies are believed to protect their descendants or property, but others might cause harm if they were wronged, or if certain rituals to appease them are not followed. For instance, it is believed one must leave a light on or leave a bowl of water out to prevent a Duppy from causing trouble. To ward off or appease Duppies, people might perform rituals like setting out salt, lighting candles, or conducting special ceremonies where offerings are made. Another is the 9-night wake, more on that in a minute. The way someone dies can influence their Duppy's behaviour. For example, a person who died violently might have a particularly restless spirit. These beliefs influence how death and the afterlife are viewed in Caribbean culture, affecting funeral practices, storytelling, and daily life by instilling respect or caution regarding the dead. Understanding Duppy interaction involves recognizing the cultural context where life, death, and the afterlife are seen as interconnected, where the actions of the living can affect the spirits, and vice versa. The concept of Duppies is not only about fear, but also reflects societal norms and values. For instance, respect for the dead is paramount, and rituals like proper burial or the 9-night wake are cultural practices aimed at ensuring the deceased spirit does not linger as a Duppy. Duppies are often described as having physical characteristics akin to how the person looked in life, yet with elements that signify their ethereal nature, such as being able to pass through walls or disappear at will. Stories of Duppies are used in Caribbean communities to teach lessons on behaviour, respect for ancestors, and the sanctity of life and death. They are part of oral traditions where tales are told to entertain, warn or educate, especially during gatherings or in times like the traditional 9-night, where the community comes together to celebrate and mourn. The fearsome wiac or wapak is a terrifying, shape-shifting giant from Maya folklore. So let's look at this startling legend. In Maya mythology from the Yucatan Peninsula, wiac is a supernatural being said to haunt the night. The name Wai in Yucatec Maya can mean spirit or transformer, often linked to shape-shifting beings, while Pac suggests something large or broad. The entity is described as an enormous figure, so tall that a person barely reaches its knees, with glowing green eyes, 3 sharp tongues, and 3 grotesque collars made of hardened peccary kidneys hanging from its neck. As a point of information, a peccary is a type of small boar. According to mythology, the creature is a nocturnal terror, lurking in villages or jungle paths that preys on late-night wanderers. The wiac is known as El Tapacaminos, or the path blocker, in some tales. It stands with 1 foot on each side of a path, waiting for an unsuspecting victim to pass beneath. When someone does, it snaps its massive legs shut, crushing or strangling them. Some stories say it bites its victims, breaking their bones, or uses its collars to choke them. It is an entity that you may need to seek protection from, like this ritual performed by a Maya shaman.
Kopekti bakola te nohol, kitane nohol tane akasa tinis kansa tinis tulakal balabo. Tane tu sama ne tane muka silabo muka habo muka kelabo. Ki kolit tulakle balo helabo ki tu kuyatek puksi kale kupatle chanun tuli liong ite yokustal hela. Chako tulakle muka yate kano. Katik te yu mo be kalubuk ti talakle tulakle balo ki bakola bo. Besha kasim bale shate ya baki makola. Tane yung itapna ischel yung kas yung balang yung kanap yung chak tulakal yung mo san ku yung kono san te kuchil hela ti san ka tsak pet ki makola tilet yo.
The poet Luis Rosado Vega, in his 1957 work El Alma Misteriosa del Mayab, describes it as a creation of infernal beings, moulded over centuries into a lanky, sinister form that can slip through the smallest cracks. Its purpose is quite simple. It is to torment humans, serving as a cautionary tale embodying the dangers of the night in Maya cosmology. The legend is still told in rural Yucatan communities, where elders recount encounters with the Colossus. The terrifying creature is one of many supernatural beings from Yucatan folklore, where stories of shapeshifters and nocturnal spirits were once widely believed. The wiac was often used to warn people, especially children, about the dangers of wandering alone after dark. So if you're ever in the Yucatan jungle, you might want to look up. The wiac tale is a vivid piece of the region's oral tradition, reflecting fears of the unknown and the power of nature personified in monstrous form. You can find out a bit more about the Maya in my book, Maya Picture Book, Buildings and Beliefs, which is linked in the description. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. And you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description or via YouTube Super Thanks. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.